Yay, we're recording. Well, you guys, this is very, very exciting for me this evening to spend a little bit of time with somebody who not only is an incredibly successful Beachbody coach, but also one of my closest friends and a friendship that I was able to earn because of being involved in this business. So I want to tell you a little bit about Julie. She's in the Millionaire Club. You like that? If I do that? She's a four-time elite coach, and she earned that first chairman trip to France with me, which was amazing. She's a superstar diamond coach, and she's currently serving on our coach advisory board, where there are only 8 coaches in the entire network who serve for 2 years. So besides that, she is an amazing mom to 2 beautiful daughters. And she is my international travel partner. We've been to 3 continents together, and we plan to go all over the place. We have many more. And just to kick it off, look, Julie, I have my coffee. Because we got to always form our triangle stops. We go from
lava.
I know, we always go from a beverage to gelato, because we went from the reset straight to the regain the first time that we did that. Anyways, I'm very excited to let you spend some time with Julie, and I would love to kick it off by asking you if you could tell them how you got started in Beachbody coaching.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you so much for just thinking of me and having me on to speak with your team. It's an honor, and I love you so much. So thanks for having me. As far as me getting started, I just laugh about it because my friend Stephanie Richardson, many of you probably know Stephanie and have worked with her. She was a neighbor of mine, and she led a Bible study in my neighborhood, and I met her through that. And I didn't really know her that well at the time, but she told me that she was signing up for this business, and I just had to sign up, and I was going to make a lot of money. And that was pretty much her spiel to begin with, because we didn't know anything, It was brand new. It was when the company first opened up. And she was just as clueless, way more clueless than Monica. Monica, at least, was, had been using the products and was involved with the message boards. Stephanie was asked to join as a favor to a friend, just like I was. So Stephanie asked me to join this business. I basically told her, this is multi-level marketing. I don't do that. No. And I eventually said I would love to help her because she was such a sweet friend and really was welcoming when we were looking for a home group in our neighborhood. So I said, I'll help you out. If it, gets you going in your business, I'll be happy to join, but it's our little secret and nobody knows. Nobody has to know about this. Don't tell anybody. And so that's how I joined. And I started using Power 90 for the first time. And I was always pretty active with running and playing tennis. I was actually on a pretty competitive tennis league at the time. I sucked, but I thought I was, a good tennis player, kind of. I spent a lot of time playing tennis anyway. So I thought I was in good shape, but I wasn't lifting weights. So I started using Power 90, got great results with the program, but it was 2 years really before I finally woke up and realized that this was an opportunity that could change my life. And I started seeing the stories, the success stories, like this is legit, like this company is for real. These people, these transformations are crazy that are coming out of this company. And then I started noticing the coach transformations as well. And I was kind of kicking myself like, really? People actually make money with this scam? And so about that time, I decided to just kind of give it a shot. And then here I am today.
I love it. Well, what do you think was the transition from going from being an emerald to, what did you have to do to transition to diamond and to star diamond and to superstar diamond?
It's so cliche, it's kind of silly to say it, but it just always starts with the decision. And I decided I was going to do it. And so when I decided I was going to do it, I started taking it seriously, and I did what I had to do. I was 100% committed once I made the decision. And so I did what I had to do. And, I don't think this business is complicated by any means. But it does take work. And I think that's the part where a lot of people, they get frustrated if they decide they're going to do this, and then, 2 months in, they're having a hard time finding people, and they just think, well, this doesn't work. Well, it does work. This is, where else does anybody have an opportunity to build $1 million business online with zero overhead, hardly any costs to start up? And you don't have to go to college for this. Like, anybody can do this. You just have to be committed. So in the beginning, I won't say, I probably, you guys see all these superstar diamond coaches these days that have signed up 2 years ago, and they're 15 stars and, top 10. And it wasn't like that for me. It was more of just a slow and steady pace. And I was talking about this with Jessica this past weekend. She told me, like, don't tell people that, because that makes it sound like I wasn't working hard the whole time, which I was. I've always been committed, to making Success Club, and not just in retail sales, but I've focused always on adding to my team, because I understood early that the growth in this thing really comes from team growth and not in making retail sales. So although that's important when you're new, I understood early that I needed to be enrolling 2 coaches a month minimum. Now it's more than that, but I always was committed to that. So there were times where I had to call my dad on the 31st of the month and say, Dad, you're signing up as a coach this month, or you're going to buy a challenge pack, or, in the beginning there weren't challenge packs, but I was so committed that I found a way somehow every single month, and I'm not saying that like I cheated the system all the way through, but, sometimes I had to ask for favors from friends, and I don't see that there's anything wrong with that. I think it just shows a commitment level that I really wish more people would have. And some of those people that I asked for favors, just try Shakeology for a month, I need you. They ended up staying on it forever because they loved it. So, I asked them to do me a favor, but I really did them a favor too, because they found a product that they loved and stayed on. The defining moment where I really started taking this serious was that first summit in LA. It wasn't the first summit, but the first time that they announced that Chairman's Challenge, the very first trip to France. And I remember specifically sitting at that round table, and there was like 15 people per table or whatever, and I had a bunch of my coaches with me. And I was probably maybe 1 star or something then. I don't know. Not a big deal. And I wasn't making that much money for sure. But he announced that cycling trip through the south of France. And I turned to Bridget, my right-hand man, and said, dang, that is going to be an awesome trip for whoever gets to go. And it did not even cross my mind that I would be on that trip. It did not even register. I was just like excited for whoever was going to win this was going to get something amazing. And then I came home that summer, and I met with Barbie Decker, who lives in Dallas, and she was here at that time. And we met for coffee, and we started looking at our businesses. And I was like, wait a minute, like, I could make this happen. I was maybe like number 20 or something at the time. But I really wasn't paying attention too much. I was just doing my thing. I had no idea. And we talked, and she asked me, like, why not? Why not you? Why don't you go for it? And so I just kind of kept doing my thing, and I wasn't really focused on that top 10 trip. But then it got down like, farther in the year, October. And then I was like, number 15, I was like, I'm going to make it happen. And I was 100% committed to making that goal. And I think when you're so crystal clear on something, it was like the universe opened up to me. It was like all of a sudden there were opportunities everywhere. Like they were all along. I just wasn't seeing them. But I was so super attuned to the opportunities because I was looking for them everywhere. So they were there. And I would write down every time I had an idea of somebody to talk to, or I had this whiteboard and I would write them down, and I would not erase them until I had done it. And they were a lot of scary names on there. I mean, I was talking to physical therapists and doctors and, you know, big names in my community, people that I would have never dreamt to do that with. But I got really bold at that time because I was committed to making that happen. And I just got gutsy. And I just said, okay, what's the worst that can happen? I'm going to go for it. And I got a lot of no's, but I got a lot of yeses too. And then having accomplished that, I mean, that was amazing. I mean, I had no experience in this. I'd never done anything like this, never done sales or multi-level marketing. I had been in an engineering field, and I worked a lot behind a computer in a cubicle, very antisocial. I'm not the most social person. If you have met me, you probably know I'm not the life of the party ever, except when I'm with Monica alone, then we laugh like nonstop. But you know, your coach Monica is amazing fun. Like she just is. She has that. I don't. So and my coach Stephanie is amazing fun, and like she just talks to everybody. She's best friends with everybody she meets. And so I was very intimidated by that because I thought you had to have a big personality to be successful in this. But you don't. You just have to have some very clear goals and be committed to your own goals and committed to daily activity. The simple things, it just always comes back to the 3 simple vital behaviors. And you can make crazy things happen with this business. So. But yeah, after having reached that goal, it's kind of funny. I don't know if you know this, Monica, but the year that I made top 10, I only made $50,000 in my business that year.
No, but after hearing some of the numbers being read on stage this year, you know, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there were people there were top coaches that didn't even have 200,000 volume, you know, ATV right. over their last year's volume. So I can imagine it.
But it's obviously has multiplied many, many times since then. But
to over $1 million.
Yeah. But it was such a confidence boost to have been able to achieve that goal. It's probably the biggest thing that I've ever accomplished in my life, you know, obviously professionally, not my kids or, you know, but just having reached that, it gave me a lot of confidence and belief in my team and belief in other people, really, that if I could do that, like I am just a simple, shy girl, anybody can do it. And I believe that so strongly. Like it's just a matter of believing in yourself and going for it, because it is such a simple business. And, you know, success is not hard. It's not complicated. It just takes a lot of work. And most people aren't willing to put the work in. And it's just a decision. You know, are you willing or are you not? And if you're willing to work hard, you're going to blow it up.
Oh right? My gosh, absolutely. Gosh, you said some super important things, and I want to highlight them because although they're specific to your story, they're everybody's story. I mean, first of all, Julie is my is one of my success partners, although I don't know that we've ever been like, yeah, we've been success partners, but so how, I'm like,
what?
I was trying to figure out like what I want to mute somebody, but I don't want to mute you. Anyways, there was like talking in the background. Couldn't be Leah, could it? Anyways,
no,
what I was going to say was that just a person sitting on this call, like you said, you would call your dad, you start asking for favors because you were so committed to what you had decided. And one of the girls sitting on the call tonight, you encouraged me to go 10-star, Julie, and I was like, it's going to be impossible. It's never going to happen, right? Because I had to build that power leg, and it's one of those things for us coaches once we blow out our leg, you know, and to the numbers that Mike Ryan put in our team page, the 132,000 a week. Once you hit that, sometimes you don't want to go back and build there. But anyways, I made the decision, just like Julie's saying, and I invited somebody. I was like, just do this for a month. You talk about it all the time. And that girl's sitting on the call with her 14 Success Club points this month, and I don't think she's going to be going to Cancun, and I know it's a huge part of a new part of our life together as friends, this Beachbody part. And so it's amazing. And you're right. Another thing that Julie said was that the opportunities were everywhere. And you know what? When you get really clear, it's the same thing. Like I did the top 10. I finished one behind Julie. She finished number 6. I finished number 7. Another funny side story, because Julie and I made a decision to run a marathon that year. And so just ironically, we decided to run the Paris Marathon. And in France, because we still had that tiny bit of doubt that we just might not make the trip, and we didn't want to miss out on an amazing trip to France together. So we thought, what an outrageous opportunity to go run that. But we would never share our numbers with each other. We were so quiet about it. We would just say, how are you doing? Fine. How are you doing? Fine. You know, but I know that pushed us, because it's true. Opportunities are everywhere. And you make such a powerful point, Julie, because you just have to start looking there. Yeah. And you made the point, they were always there. It's just that when you got clear, you stopped worrying about the outcome. You know, you started worrying about the only thing that you can be responsible for, which is your responsibility is the ask, right? Is the invite and the follow-up to get to a decision so you can close. And you're either going to get a yes and you're going to get a no, but at the end of the day, that's not really what you're responsible for, because that's the decision of the individual.
Well, it's like Darren Hardy says, like if you're looking at buying a car, and say you're looking at a Toyota Prius or whatever, you don't notice them, but then you start looking at that car, and all of a sudden every car around you is a Toyota Prius and the same color that you're looking at buying, because you're now hypersensitive to it, right? I'm sure everybody has experienced that. Well, when you get hypersensitive to your business, it is everywhere. And I'm not as hypersensitive as I was when I was going for that top 10, but I am very keen on listening to conversations, and I've built a lot of my business not online, but by meeting strangers out and about. So
good. That's the next question I have for you. Where do you find people? Where do you build your list? Because I think that people think that it has to be online, because so many coaches are leveraging online. Right. So talk about your specific strategy.
Okay. Yeah, and I just want to make that point to everybody. I think it's really intimidating these days, because there's so many social media experts out there, and people that are killing it on Instagram and Twitter and all these other platforms. And I think that it's great, and it's smart for you guys to learn them and to utilize them. Once you have mastered your 3 vital behaviors, and you have gotten good at that, and you've gotten good at making Success Club without being a master in all of those platforms, okay? And I am proof. I mean, seriously, guys, look at my Facebook. I have a like page and a regular Facebook page. I do have a Twitter. I don't know how to use it. I have an Instagram. I don't know how to use it. I think my daughter set it up for me. I really suck at social media. And I'm not saying that obviously I'm not bragging, but I'm making the point. I'm a 15-star in the Millionaires Club, and I don't know how to use social media as well as I should. Okay. So if you are a coach on this call and you feel intimidated or lost, or there's no way you can be successful because you're not good at all of these things, that is baloney. Okay. So I'm really good at just making relationships with people online on my Facebook, adding friends, adding my high school friends, my elementary school friends, just popping in every once in a while. I'm not big on just blowing up ads on my page. I don't do that. It's more a one-on-one thing. So, and I try to connect everybody I meet on my Facebook page. So I was just at an event in California, sit down in the restaurant, the person next to me, we strike up a conversation. I never carry business cards ever. And there were people at this event that were, passing out their business cards left and right. Well, they asked me for my business card. I dig in my purse. Oh, darn, I don't have one. Here, are you on Facebook? Let's connect there. And I pull out my phone and I connect right there. Or I put it on the notes section and I write their email address down. And, I did that on the plane and connected with somebody that ended up buying something from me. But I don't give out business cards. I talk to people. I ask questions. I tell them a little bit about my business, but don't get into too much detail. And I ask for their information and say, let me shoot you an email when I get home and I'll tell you more about what I do. Or, a program that might help you or something. I also am a big proponent of I feel that it's absolutely fair for anybody that I do business with on a regular basis to know what my business is too. Okay? My attorney, my financial advisor, my nail girl, my hair girl, my dry cleaner, my banker. These are people that are using my business every day, every month. Why shouldn't they know what my business is too and help support me as well? So I get referrals that way. And I've also added a lot, my massage therapist, I've added a ton of massage therapists, whatever, I just talk about my business. I don't hit everybody, slap people across the face and say, hey, I'm Julie, I'm a Beachbody coach. But I start conversations with people that I talk to on a regular basis, and I'm not afraid to, and I've gotten good at turning the conversation too. And that's a skill that has to be developed. And so, you guys, if you haven't done that before, you're going to be intimidated by it and it's going to be scary. But feel the fear and do it anyways. Okay. Because that's how you will get better at it. And I think that big push to get to 15 or to get to that top 10 trip really pushed me out of my comfort zone. And so I did these things. And I tell you, I would be in a coffee shop listening to a conversation behind me, two women talking about how they hated that they've gained 10 pounds or whatever. And I'd be sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I should talk to them. I could help them. I don't want to talk to them. How creepy is that, But then I would say, okay, am I going to let my fear, I would ask myself, and I still do this today. Am I going to let my fear of what these people think about me hold me back from my dreams and hold me back from giving them an opportunity to change their life? Because really, it's selfish of me to hold that in, right? So, yes, it's very scary when you first start, but do it anyways. And you're going to look like a jerk sometimes, and you're going to walk away with your tail between your legs feeling like, oh my gosh, I flubbed that up. I did that. Oh, that was awful. But that's how you learn. You won't ever get better unless you flub it up. So be willing to do that.
Absolutely. And the consequences of making mistakes are just not that extreme. It's not like failing an exam in college. It's not like making an error at your job or you can get fired. No one's going to fire you for making mistakes. Right. And a lot of times, if you keep those people on your list, I have had some of the toughest candidates, when the time is right, come back to me because something changed,
Yeah.
and then they knew who to come to. I've had, one of Dave's friends from law school, really give me a really hard time. And then when it was time for the high school reunion, guess who's the first person? She came knocking, came and wanted to faithfully drink Shakeology, so she continues to order Shakeology.
Yeah, I wanted to make that point too. Where do I find my list? It's been my commitment and my consistency to planting those seeds daily, because that happens to me all the time, Monica. I never worry about making Success Club anymore. And I do continue to share all the time, but I don't worry about it at all because they just come to me, and they're people that I talked to maybe 5 years ago. I have random people that I've connected to on an airplane 4 years ago that we are still in, we're still connected on Facebook. That's why it's so important to connect on Facebook, because people will forget about you if not. But they may be watching you from afar for years, and then all of a sudden you get this random email like, I'm ready to get started as a coach, or I want to get started on this program. And it happens every month.
Most
but my
definitely.
consistency and planting those seeds over the years has made this business so much easier for me now today. So
Right.
Don't feel discouraged if you're planting those seeds now and you're not seeing the fruit in the beginning. You just keep doing that and it will come around and it will get so much easier.
I think that one of the things that I've been confronted with lately, that I know Julie's the real deal, So when she says she did it consistently, she really got a lot of no's. She really put herself out there. She really failed forward a lot, and then started to experience successes. And the thing is, the successes feel so good that they far outweigh the tail between your leg or messing up, and I think what you guys have to recognize is that that's all it takes is the consistency. Stay committed to the process. But definitely, if you are not out there planting seeds and you are not out there, you're what we like to call, Stephanie is her coach, for those of you who are in the A-list, what we like to call mastering your or your Instagram or your Insta collage post. If you're spending a lot of times getting ready to get ready, in the time that you have put together the most beautiful flyer, Julie's talked to 5 more people, 10 more people.
And my pictures are not fancy. They really aren't. I mean, I am just basic, but I got a solid business. And you know what? I hope you heard that. And I saw it posted somewhere. Somebody said it the other day and I just loved it. Feel the fear and do it anyways. Mm-hmm. Because is it worth it? Is it worth it for you to be a little uncomfortable every once in a while? Is it worth it to maybe make an ass out of yourself every once in a while? If you can build yourself a empire and you can build yourself financial freedom in a few years. I mean, crazy what you can do, but you got to be willing. And it's worth it. I'll tell you, it's worth it.
It's worth it. It's worth 4 times to Europe, 5 times to Europe with you, and going on our 6th trip together this year. And it's because we have the time and the discretionary income to afford it, to afford living our dreams. Julie and I aren't shoppers. We are strollers. We like to stroll through streets and
eat gelato
and take in the scenes. And I found my little soulmate travel girl, and we enjoy ourselves and we laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. But everybody, you can see Dave Cervello right here, everybody has what is their passion, and what they're going to work for. But I think probably the one thing you're saying, chasing your dreams and feeling the fear and doing it anyways, we also have an amazing business. We do have products that change lives. We've got one of the finalists this year sitting on the call looking at you right now, Julie. He was on stage. Bob Taylor right there. Yeah. I mean, he sat there and I'm sure that he would tell us if he could give us the rah-rah. I've got the mom of 4, the stay-at-home mom of 4, who I asked to do me a favor so I could go, 11-star. We've got one of the winners who completely changed his life because he got healthy at 50 years old and then was able, I know it was never about getting on stage. It was about not having to go through airport security with a sleep apnea machine because he made a different decision in his life. And a lot of us are doing these things and a lot of us are changing. So,
well, when I say feel the fear and do it anyway, I mean that too. Like if you don't, you are just giving up. I mean, you're just, taking an opportunity for somebody's life to be completely different because you're afraid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for whatever your ego. And the thing is, Do you think that the fear ever goes away, Julie?
No. Uh-uh.
No. Every person is unique. I think we both every person is unique. And so we keep our systems yes, we're more natural in conversation. Yes, we're better listeners. I think we have more confidence because we've got this mountain of evidence that tells us this business is real, that people can be successful. I remember I sat on one of Julie's calls and I was telling her team, the girl who she was talking about last weekend, Jessica Nelson, that she spent last weekend with, I said that I made 5 figures a week on her call. And then she thought that was outrageous, like crazy outrageous. And then she hit her 5-figure week. So,
yeah, and she's been a coach for 4 years, and she is killing it.
Yeah. And I didn't say that to brag, and I don't think any of us say that to brag. It gives people the opportunity for the possibilities. I mean, it kind of makes me think of like when Tracy Morrow was like the icon, for those of you who've done P90X or just know baby doll Tracy Morrow, when she was doing, she was like our first fitness woman. So I wanted to know like how many push-ups could she do in an hour, because I didn't want to hear about like other of the guys. I want to know like what can a woman do, so that I had some kind of a benchmark to work towards. And she probably thought I was a nutcase when I was like, so how many push-ups? Did I say an hour? I meant a minute. I'm like, not an hour. I could do 2 in an hour. No, I wanted to know how many she could do in a minute, because it gave me a benchmark. So right now, Julie and I are like the ceiling of what you can achieve, but we both know that there's going to come a time where what is happening currently in our life is going to be totally outrageous. Like it'll seem like nothing, and the uncomfortable, right? To think about where we could be, and when we go more international, when we go into other countries, or when just the momentum continues.
Well, the little Time Hop app.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, right.
So that showed up Jessica's 4-year. I signed her and said, I'm so excited. I just signed a new coach. Welcome, Jessica Nelson, 4 years ago. That was like 3 days ago. And just to think how her life has changed in 4 years. She was a customer of mine doing P90X, and she was very resistant to the business. And she ended up signing to get a discount on Shakeology, because thankfully I wasn't afraid to approach her about that. And now she is, living a free life, 5 figures a week, just amazing change in her life. And she's influenced thousands of people and helped so many people with their fitness. But it's just crazy what has happened to her from that day to 4 years later, what has happened to me in the last 4 years, and where we're going to be 4 years from now. And like you told, I don't talk about my finances hardly ever. I'm just uncomfortable with it, but I'm so grateful that you did that day, because for Jessica, that sparked her. Like she was like crazy, and so she has gone, done amazing. But it's important for all of us coaches to set the bar and to show people what's possible. So you can't stay stuck at Emerald. Once you are an Emerald coach, you are a leader of a team, and you've got to set the bar, and you've got to keep advancing, and you can't stay stuck at Diamond Coach for a year. You've got to keep moving forward, and you've got to grow this thing and improve your life, so that other people, because they're looking at you and they're seeing what is possible. And if she can't get past Diamond, I'm not going to be able to get past Diamond. Right?
But imagine if you put care into, like I think Danny Johnson says it, where if you take care of what you're doing right now, you can become master over more. I know she got that from, if you're faithful with the little things, you can be made master over more. And I know she referenced that from the Bible, but it's true. Yeah. And part of what Julie is saying is Emerald Coach, it's not just about advancing and continuing to grow. It's about helping those people. You are the leader of a team, and it's about helping them achieve their results and start learning to help them go after the people that they know. Because I bet you a ton of us, I mean, if we did our master list together of all the people that we know, it would be outrageous. And really approaching each individual person is the most important thing that you do, is you just sort of hit each person one person, one life at a time.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I just wanted to also make the point that, okay, I'm 7 years into this business. Obviously, I have maxed out my warm list. You know, all of my family and close friends know what my business is, but I'm still growing, and I still add a minimum of 4 coaches a month and make at least Success Club 10, and usually more than that. But I mean, I'm committed to that at a minimum. So, you know, I hear coaches after they've been in it for a month, well, I've talked to everybody that I know, I'm done. Well, obviously I'm still adding people 7 years later that I, you know, are not on my warm list. So people that have built my business, the people that have grown into star diamonds, are probably not friends and family that I knew in the first month of my business. I meet people every day. I connect with people, new people every single day.
And then like warm them up.
Yeah. Warm them up. And then when they're ready, they know where to come.
Exactly. Any final thoughts? Any one takeaway or two, or no limit to your takeaways?
I guess not really. I mean, I just think that you have to work on your belief first. Personal development is we always tout that, and we say you got to do it. And I know that a lot of people find that that's the thing that they brush off, but I do believe that is crucial. You will not do well in this business. You will not be able to keep moving forward if you're not committed to growing yourself personally. And if you don't have belief in yourself from the start, it's going to be very hard for you to make this happen. I worked for a long time not making any money because I looked at the stories and the successful coaches that were ahead of me, and I believed if they can do it, I can do it too. And I knew in my heart and I knew in my head that if I just kept doing it, even though I wasn't making any money, and I was working really hard, there was times where I'm like, really? I put in how many hours for $250 this week? You know, I mean, there was times where that came to my mind, but I knew in my heart that this was going to be big. I knew I was going to, reach the top of this business. I felt it and I believed it. And if you don't believe that that's possible for you, number one, you're wrong, because it's possible for all of us. And number two, you need to work on that, because it's going to be very hard for you to get up in the morning every day and be excited about what you're doing if you don't believe what's ahead, what's in store for you. Because you got to be willing to work for it,
right,
for a while, but it'll be worth it, I promise.
I think a lot of us, being that we started in the beginning, we didn't know what to do. We started in 2007, and we didn't have the Ferrari of a business that you get to drive now. It wasn't until they implemented these vital behaviors and we knew what we needed to do, that we had to invite and that we had to follow up with people and that we had to keep on adding to our list, finding new people, that we ourselves had to be proof the product worked. And part of that is as simple as I blended a shake right before this call. It wasn't like rocket science. I just blended the shake. And I was in such a hurry, I managed to spill it all over the place. So I blended another shake. That's okay. I haven't even hit the cocktails yet. Terrible. Okay. Julie, of course, now my thank you very, very much. I like to look in your eyes as if you can see in my eyes. I know I'm supposed to look into the thing. Thank you so much. I hope that my team understands what a big deal you are. And go to her page, and she's in our team page, and follow her. And Julie can write down her page so you can start to follow follow successful people. Follow her and leave her friendship list open so she can continue to add to her list, and follow her like page, because you will be able to connect with her there and like her stuff. And my mom shared a recipe from her
I
page.
saw that.
My mom has never shared a recipe from my page, so that was cute, right? My mom.
Yes.
My mom thinks you're good. You're a good deal. She's smart lady. And thank you, Julie, so very much. Thank you for being on this call, and I'm so excited for all the people that get to hear this recording later. I know a lot of people are with their family, so thank you.
Thanks for having me. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.